Hello everyone and welcome to our daily roundup of all the action at the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. The hosts have broken the tournament's goal drought as they become the first team to qualify for the last 16 with an emphatic 4-1 win over Ethiopia. To discuss that goal fest and all the rest of the day's action, I'll be joined by our sports editor Simon Harding in Yaoundé and Eurosport journalist Ruben Slagter in the studio here with us. Hello Ruben.
Hello.
And let's start with that 4-1 victory for Cameroon, which sees them through to the knockout stages. Forward Vincent Aboubakar scored twice, putting his tally at 4 goals, which makes him the top scorer at AFCON so far. His teammate Karl Toko-Ekambi also put 2 into the back of the net in front of a raucous home crowd in Yaoundé. A resounding victory and a spot in the last 16 that was celebrated by some very happy fans.
It was a great match, and we're very happy with the players' performance.
I'm so happy to be Cameroonian. Go Lions!
And for more on that result, let's cross to the capital and our sports editor, Simon Harding. Simon, it was a very entertaining game with lots of goals after a very slow start to this tournament with just 12 goals in the first 12 games.
Absolutely, you get the feeling that Cameroon came out of their shell against Ethiopia, Selina, and of course, Karl Toko-Ekambi was integral to that, scoring either side of Vincent Aboubakar, Captain Fantastic's brace in the match. But if truth be told, it was a result that the fans here were expecting, that they wanted, because Cameroon's performance in the opening match of the tournament hadn't been good enough, certainly from the expectations here in the country. The attacking, flowing football that the Indomitable Lions need to play, want to play to win the tournament. And make no mistake, that is what people want them to do here. The expectation and the bare minimum is to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, whether or not they're going to be able to do that is another question, but certainly they looked much more like a tournament winning team in this match against Ethiopia, even though they fell behind to Hotesa's strike after just 4 minutes, raising question marks about their defence, but certainly the response and the activity in the first half and then second half in particular was one that Cameroonian fans will have wanted to see. Now, we'll have to wait to get a clearer idea of how Cameroon can cope against, shall we say, the bigger nations on the African continent. The fact that they've qualified, first team to qualify for the last 16, does mean that management will now be able to rotate the squad for the last match against Cape Verde. Whether or not that gives them any clearer indications on who the starting 11 should be going into the last 16, we'll have to just wait and see.
Indeed, Simon, certainly a bit of relief for the hosts there. Let's move on to Group A's other game this evening. Burkina Faso beat Cape Verde 1-0, a result which leaves Group A wide open.
Group A wide open, absolutely, Selina, because it is a match now that leaves Cape Verde and Burkina Faso both on 3 points, and Ethiopia play Burkina Faso in the last match of the group stage. And if Ethiopia win that, then they will leapfrog Burkina Faso, because head-to-head matches is the second barometer to have teams placed in the group standings, which would eventually mean that Ethiopia would have 3 points, Cape Verde could have 3 points, and Burkina Faso could have 3 points behind Cameroon. So still a very open group, which has seen teams play above expectations. Yes, Ethiopia, of course, suffered a big defeat, but Ethiopian fans should be encouraged by the manner in which they played. I think a lot of naivety and perhaps lack of experience contributed to that big scoreline. Let us not forget that only one of Ethiopia's 28-man squad plays outside of the Ethiopian Premier League, which just goes to show the kind of caliber of play. And when you compare that to, of course, Vincent Aboubakar, who plays in Saudi Arabia, when you compare him to Karl Toko-Ekambi, who plays for Olympique Lyon, Zambo Anguissa, who plays for Napoli in Italy, so the caliber of players there is very different. What we do need to realise though is that Burkina Faso will be expecting to go through to the next round. Bertrand Traoré, after defeat against Cameroon, said that his team threw the match away, so the victory against Cape Verde was the bare minimum, and make no mistake that they will want to secure their place in the last 16 with a victory in their final match of the group.
We'll be looking ahead to a tight last round of games in that first group. Ruben, we've obviously seen the first, second round of matches being played this evening, today, with a real goal fest, which was a real joy to watch. As we discussed, touched on there with Simon, it's been a slow start to this tournament. Why do you think that is?
Well, for me, there are three reasons, to be honest. First of all, I mean, the tournament started and all the players just had to come in. I mean, there were so many players who couldn't even have preparation matches or whatsoever. I think that taking risk in those first matches, and especially with the whole system, and for me, that's the second reason, 24 teams, 16 teams going through. So why take risks in your first matches? There's so many teams, and especially the big teams, the favorites, they know that even with a bad result, we can think about Algeria against Sierra Leone, for example, making a draw. For them, it's not such a risk, because after those matches, they will win one of the next ones and then they will go through. So I think that they're all still warming up for what's coming next. And, well, we come back to it later during this tournament, I think. I think also that there's a change of mentality in the African teams. I think it's way more tactical what we are seeing. Ethiopia being the exception. Well, Simon was explaining it already a little bit. But there's so many teams now are way more adapting to the opponents, where it's before in African football it was way more open and also more entertaining to watch. Having said that, the tournament has just started. We've seen 5 goals today, 6 goals in total, 5 goals in the Cameroon match. So let's hope we will continue on this in this line.
Let's hope so, especially for the neutral fans. It's always nice to see goals. Let's, on that note, take a look ahead at what we have to look forward to on Friday. The second round of matches in Groups B and C will be kicking off. Group B frontrunners Guinea and Senegal will be looking to show who's the top dog as they face each other in Bafoussam, while Malawi and Zimbabwe will both be hoping to pick up their first points in their clash. Morocco will be pushing for 2 wins out of 2 as they face debutants the Comoros in Group C in Yaoundé. And also in the capital, Group C leaders Gabon will be playing against Ghana, who are yet to get any points under their belt. Ruben, let's take a quick look at Group B and have a look at those standings. The Senegal are the favourites. They're both on 3 points with Guinea. That's obviously a crucial match for them. They're both hungry to secure the qualification. And of course, Senegal will be really keen to prove, put in a better performance to prove exactly why they've been tipped as the hot favourites for this tournament.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Guinea as well, because they weren't that convincing against Malawi. Honestly, I'm also really looking forward to the other match, because Malawi and Zimbabwe, they were better than expected, to be honest. Senegal, of course, they want to show that they are the real favorites for this tournament. So I'm really looking forward to this match, because we will have those teams. They want to show to the whole tournament what they are made of. And we even have the Liverpool match in the match between Sadio Mane and Naby Keita, of course.
Indeed, definitely one to be looking forward to. Let's now move on to Group C, which has been touted as the tightest battle by many pundits. Gabon and Morocco are both currently on 3 points, while Comoros and Ghana are yet to pick up any points. Ruben, Morocco have had quite a good start to this tournament. They've come out on top of their first big game in that Group C clash against Ghana. They'll be looking to secure qualification.
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll see what it's more. The pressure is on Ghana tomorrow. We'll see if they can recover from what happened yesterday. I'm quite convinced that they will show something. I think that Morocco is still the main team in this group. With Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang coming back, we're all looking forward to that as well. So it can become quite an impressive or a real match tomorrow. Yeah, and when talking about Morocco, I think that Morocco I was pleasantly surprised by them in the first game. Comoros, they're the biggest outsider in the whole tournament. So hopefully they can at least score a goal or show us something what they're capable of. First match against Gabon, they weren't bad. They showed us already something. So yeah, will be a nice match as well.
Maybe we'll be in for a surprise there. We'll have to wait and see. We're then going to move on to Group C's other match. And there's been some news that Gabon will be very thrilled about. Their star striker and captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is out of isolation after testing positive for COVID-19 on arrival in Cameroon. The Arsenal player returned to training on Thursday and said he's feeling fine and had been in training in his room during quarantine, and he returned to training with his teammates. His return has been warmly welcomed by his teammates.
We are very happy to have our captain back. We know the impact he has on the group, the impact he brings during the games, and the pressure he can put on our opponent's defense. So we're very happy. We know that this AFCON is complicated. We need everyone, our best assets, and his return will definitely give us a boost for this game.
So, Ruben, obviously Aubameyang's return is a big boost for them going into their second game. There's no confirmation he's starting yet, though he'll be keen to hit the ground running for his national side, especially after falling out of favour at Arsenal.
Yeah, the main question is which Aubameyang we are going to see tomorrow, because the Aubameyang of the last few weeks, he didn't play. We saw him partying in Dubai. I really hope that we are going to see that superstar he was before, and that he will use this tournament to show the world what he is made of. And if that's the case, against a Ghana that needs a result tomorrow, we are up for a fantastic game, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, Gabon, without their manager tomorrow, who tested positive, and defenders Lloyd Parlin and striker Kevin Mai. But right now, that brings us nearly to the end of our show. Before we leave you for this evening, let's cross back to our sports editor, Simon Harding, in the capital, who'll be following those second round of games in Group C in the capital. Simon, a quick word on what to expect on Friday.
Well, some very interesting matchups. I think, as Ruben was saying, there are two aspects. First, that the smaller so-called teams on the African continent aren't that easy to beat anymore. We remember Aliou Cisse saying after Senegal's 97th minute winner against Zimbabwe, a penalty, incidentally, that there were no more small teams in Africa. And that, I think, has also contributed to the fact that results have been very tight. And it's only when the, shall we say, bigger nations really play to their full capacity that results perhaps reflect the reality of what those should be. So it is going to see exactly how Comoros play against Morocco, because Morocco got lucky with their win against Ghana in a game where perhaps they didn't have plenty of chances. They had to thank their goalkeeper Bunu for a fantastic save from Joseph Painsil to keep them in the match when it was still 0-0. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And the other one, if we look at an individual, again, I have to agree with Ruben and talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, because this is a player who put his country in a difficult spot by partying in Dubai and contracting the virus. And then he's a player who also has a point to prove, as he is going to exit Arsenal most probably in the coming months, and is therefore needing a new club, and it will be trying to woo certain suitors. So very interesting matchups to come, Selina, and the answers will of course be here in the Africa Cup of Nations show on France 24.
Indeed, we'll be back with you tomorrow, and that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you to Simon Harding there in the capital. We'll be back on Friday evening at around 11:40 Yaoundé and Paris time with all the latest results. Until then, stay tuned for more news here on France 24.